Good morning and welcome to another episode of Josh and Pat. I'm Joshua Klein, joined by Patrick Cassett, and this episode is brought to you by our Patreon. If you enjoy the show and want to support, the link is in the description. But Big Dom, head of security for Philadelphia, might get suspended because he's just like the rest of Philly. A dirtbag. Patrick, break down what happened here.
Well, you get Big Dom, and you know what? I'll give Eagles fans credit. They knew who Big Dom was before the altercation. They think Big Dom is the essence of what Philadelphia is. Well, Big Dom goes up there. He's trying to break up a little scuffle, puts his hand on Greenlaw, and you know what? Trey Greenlaw, not a huge fan of that. Coming, puts the swing back. Next thing you know, both of them out of the game.
Well, I'll tell you what, Patrick. Usually not a good thing when people who are not in the game are putting hands on opposing teams, players who are in the game.
Right.
Now, for me, Big Dom's just like the rest of Philly. That's what I see of this. Now, is Philly rallying around Big Dom? Are they saying justice for Big Dom? How do they justify his actions? Because you know these Philly fans are going to try.
Yeah, they were fired up. They thought it was great what Big Dom did. And they gave him a standing ovation as he was getting exited from the field. I mean, they were fired up for this type of behavior. And it turns out, Josh, that karma got to him. Because some are saying Big Dom put a hand on a 49er. Well, some are saying the 49ers absolutely beat down the Eagles.
I think everyone's saying that. We saw it with our own eyes.
Yeah.
I mean, the Eagles, they just didn't look like they can compete with the 49ers. Deebo Samuel had his way, did whatever he wanted to the 49ers. Now, Jalen Hurts gets the concussion, we believe, right? That's not a great sign for Philadelphia. And yes, that happened.
Because they got a huge game.
The game was kind of out of hand by the time that happened.
Yeah, but Josh, if you're Philadelphia, you're spinning it. You're spinning it. Hey, bad game, bad week. But if Jalen Hurts is not ready to go by Sunday, well, there's an issue because they play the Cowboys.
You could drop 2 back-to-back.
And then next thing you know,
that's not what you want. Not what you want at all.
And Josh, we've been long on this. And Josh and Pat, and we've been trying to tell people that the Eagles are frauds. It's just a matter of time before it comes out. And I'll tell you what, yesterday helped put on a show for us.
No, 100%. Jalen Carter also putting on a show. Jalen Carter cried at work, Patrick.
It's a tough one.
Now, I've been hammering this home. You cannot cry at work. If you're at work, you can't cry. You cry at home. I'm not anti-crying. I'm anti-crying at work. And that's why Caleb Williams notched down a couple points in my brain. He cried at a work-adjacent event. Derek Carr, way down on my list of names. He cried at work. And then add Jalen Carter to the list. And it's not even like it was a playoff game. It's not even like he was getting benched. It was just a loss.
It's just a loss.
Now, he snapped back on Twitter. He said, what did he say? He said, at least I was crying over a loss, not like any. Well, I don't know. He said he had some comeback.
Just wasn't needed.
Good enough to remember. No. So, Eagles, they're having a tough time today. 49ers feeling great. Another team that could be feeling better. I don't know exactly how they're feeling. It's the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns have, Patrick, they've had a season because you start and you think, oh, shoot, like we might have a team. Then your quarterback plays like pretty terrible, and you're not sure if you could do it because you have every piece but the quarterback. Then the quarterback starts to play all right, plays one really good half of football against the Ravens, and you're like, oh, shoot, we got ourselves a team. And then he's out for the rest of the season after that moment. They say, hey, screw PJ Walker. We hate you. We don't like you at all. And they
can't
put
stand
in DTR. And turns out DTR might not be good. It's outside of preseason. And then, so they say, we need a guy because PJ Walker, we hate him. And they go out and get Joe Flacco. This terrified everyone because everyone knows Joe Flacco only needs a really good run game and really good defense, at least one guy who could run down the field so he could chuck it to be very successful. And now they lose yesterday. I don't think it's Joe Flacco's fault, Pat.
No, it isn't. And because I'm told by experts, by people in the industry, that this Cleveland Browns defense was supposed to be one of the best of the generation. Well, if you can't give Joe Flacco an opportunity, then you guys are really messing up the situation. Because Joe Flacco, he does his part. I mean, let's not forget, Amari Cooper goes down in that game yesterday. And now he's only been around the facility for 2 weeks. He's stepping up.
Yeah.
He's looking around. He's saying, who's going to be my guy? And Elijah Moore stepped up for them yesterday. Flacco, he looked good. You give Flacco time in the pocket. They did. You give him a run game. Could have been a lot better yesterday.
I mean,
This guy
when
looks
your
healthy,
leading
Josh.
rusher has 48 yards,
Yeah. This guy looks healthy.
I mean, 2 touchdowns from Flacco is what you needed. You maybe needed a rushing touchdown or 2 because that's, like I said, it's good run game, good defense.
Right.
And maybe the Browns system's not the system we thought it was for Flacco. Maybe he should head over to Cincinnati. We'll see after tonight.
Yeah,
I'm
we'll
not
see if they
sure.
can. Yeah, because they got Joe Mixon there. He can probably run. Run around, at least make some plays happen. So we'll see.
It is unfair. I mean, Justin Herbert only needs to score 6 points to get a win, and Flacco needs to score more than 36 to get the win. Unfair.
It's not fair.
I mean, unfair. Speaking of, Justin Herbert and the 6 points. I told you so. Everyone got mad at me after the Ravens game when I said Justin Herbert's a little bit overrated. He hasn't really done too much in the league. All facts. Hasn't won a playoff game. And everyone is trying to get rid of Brandon Staley. Well, I'd argue the Brandon Staley defense is arguably the only thing that functioned in that game. And everyone was telling me, Josh, you look at one game. You're looking at one game. Way to pick the one game where the stats don't favor them. And I'm like, okay, fine. I'll look at the next game. You tell me. You tell me where I'm wrong. Because they put up 6 points. 6 points. They get the win. They put up 6 points.
Yeah. But Josh, the weather wasn't great, and you got to understand that. Quentin Johnson, he was dropping balls again. It's not Justin's fault.
Wow. Quentin Johnson. Have you seen the stats of him compared to all the receivers taken behind him?
I have.
It's not looking good for Quentin. And I will say, as somebody who has a receiver that was taken behind him, feels good to be on the right side of history here.
For the first time ever.
Yeah. So what do you think the Patriots have to do, though, to figure this out? Because Herbert drops 6 points. They still win. Patriots, they don't drop any.
Right.
They have allowed 26 points over the last 3 games, and they're 0-3 over that span, which is, I mean, that's wild to me. And so they tried the Mac Jones offense. Mac Jones offense didn't work. Then they tried the Bailey Zappi offense. The Bailey Zappi offense might have been worse, really.
Yes.
And then, what's next?
Josh, it's staring you right in the face. What do you mean, what's next? You just said the one quarterback's offense didn't work. The other quarterback's offense didn't work. So let's go to the wide receiver quarterback, Malik Cunningham. I mean, look, we talk about this all the time. If you're going to be a bad team, at least be fun and entertaining. Malik Cunningham, at the very least, can at least make stuff happen. So
Yeah.
But this is non-ironic. Like, at this point, what do you have to lose if you're the Patriots? Like, you stick Malik Cunningham out there, at least he could maybe do something.
I agree. Let him chuck it. Let him go in there and run around. I don't know. It'd be fun. It'd be enjoyable to watch. I think Patriots fans would agree with us that they got to get Malik in. And I just don't see why they haven't yet. But again, we've said this before. It's not Bill Belichick's coaching that caused them to put up 0 points. It's the general manager. And if Bill Belichick just had a better GM, everything would be solved.
And that's probably why, Bill's going to want to hit the road after this season and maybe go somewhere else that he can get a better general manager. And a better place for that to happen.
Is he going to the Bears? Is that what it, or no?
No, Harbaugh's to the Bears.
Okay, so who's going? Where's Belichick going?
Well,
Commanders.
That's what people are saying.
But the Commanders, I mean, Patrick, we're talking about an all-time bad team here. I don't know if you saw it. The Commanders' fire alarm went off in the FedEx Field.
Again, something happening.
And so it's like the 15th thing that's happened to that field. I don't understand that at all.
Well, and the best part about it, Josh,
build a new one or
new ownership comes in and they keep pushing, hey, we're selling out FedEx Field. Well, Josh, I don't know if you saw the same pictures as I did yesterday, but it was a sellout for Dolphins fans because there was a lot of teal there.
Dude, it was all teal. All teal. It was, but if you look, there was a lot of that burgundy because, believe it or not, the chairs in the stadium are actually burgundy.
Yeah, so there was a lot of burgundy.
So there was a lot that I saw.
Right, because you got to think there's probably Dolphins fans that got up, probably went to go get something in the concession stand, probably went to the bathroom. So the burgundy was there; it was visible.
Yes, 100%, and especially once things got a little out of hand, and they're like, "Hey, I got to get back to Miami,"
I got to go catch the flight because they probably booked 2 separate flights. They were like, look, we know we're probably going to be ahead, but just in case I have the later flight, they knew they could hop on that first one, get back to Miami, and get out of that bad weather.
100%. They also are probably thinking maybe get some food and, have a nice little sit-down meal. I agree. Last night, Patrick, we watched a battle of the refs versus the Chiefs, but also somehow it was the refs versus the Packers. One of the rare games, I don't know, we need to have a name for this, Patrick, when it's 3 separate teams going at each other.
Right. It's like a triangle.
Yeah, like a triangle. Some sort of like try game or something because it was wild the stuff that was happening on that field. I mean, that last drive, break it down for us, Patrick. The kind of what we got to see. Give us a glimpse of the refereeing.
Josh, we had a little bit of everything. I mean, we had Pacheco. He was throwing a punch. He gets ejected on that last drive. We have Patrick Mahomes trying to throw it deep to Marquez Valdes-Scantling that essentially got mugged. And he did not get called for pass interference to the Packers player. And so that really changed the game. Then they tried to throw a little check down and trying to find the out of bounds line Marquez Valdes-Scantling does, and he runs backwards. And I'm always told that if you run backwards to the sideline, clock keeps running. What do the officials do? He got out of bounds. So there we start going, what's happening? Then final play, Hail Mary, Patrick Mahomes. I mean, Travis Kelce just got absolutely just tackled. Never even had a chance to try to catch the ball. And no call. So a lot of different stuff happening there, Josh.
It was a lot. I was scratching my head the whole time. Now, I will say this. We got to figure out the Hail Mary situation. I see they do the same thing every time. They have 15 people jump up, try to get the ball.
Yeah.
And then it just bounces off of them and lands on the ground. Why don't we put somebody there, Patrick, to just catch get the rebound?
Well, yeah, I think
I
if it
don't
was that easy, if
understand.
you knew where the rebound was going, I think that plan would certainly help. Yeah,
So what
I
about
think that would
this?
work.
You have one person, and then everyone just surrounds them like a tip off.
Right. So instead of this is what you do. So instead of teaching the wide receivers to catch the ball, let's teach the wide receiver to tip it to the tip man.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Because then that
Mm-hmm.
guy's he's sitting there waiting. He can find it a lot better than it coming from like literally the moon, the atmosphere coming down.
Right, because imagine how confused the defenders would be. It's like everybody's going up and they're trying to catch the ball, and then all of a sudden Travis Kelce out of nowhere swats it 10 yards the other way.
That
Might
would
be onto something,
exactly.
Josh.
They wouldn't be ready for that. That's a touchdown every time, and that's
Mm-hmm.
why I think the Panthers need to hire me as their offensive coordinator or coach because I would be mixing it up for them. I'd be giving them a
Well,
chance.
but the issue, Josh, the issue for that is they haven't really been in a scenario where they're even close enough to have a Hail Mary at the end of the game. So
no. But I'd say play one.
play one, we run that.
Yeah,
Well, I'd argue that the whole point of that philosophy would be because there's a lot of defenders around. I doubt that there would be as many defenders in the area. But what do I know, Josh? I'm not an expert.
we'll figure it out. Yeah, it was a wild game. Packers though are back. People are saying that they got a third Hall of Fame quarterback. The Packers.
Well, let's slow down a
three
little bit.
three
I mean,
straight.
3 weeks ago, everybody
back
said this
to
guy's
back
done.
to back. Well, no, he's Jordan Love. He's the guy. He's the one.
I'll tell you what, he is a guy. But I mean, let's slow the roll here,
It's a love story.
baby. Don't forget.
Listen, I've always been Team Jordan Love. Now it was hard to be Team Jordan Love for a while there, but give him a weapon, go get him a weapon, and let him have time to develop. They'll be all right. They'll be all right. Now, Patrick, Chiefs losing really mixes it up for the AFC because Chiefs lose. Jaguars play tonight. Say the Jaguars win. It's Jaguars, Dolphins sitting at the top.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but say the Jaguars lose, we got Dolphins sitting at the top, a team that hasn't even beat a 500 team.
Yeah, I mean, they're winning the
I
games.
mean, it's going to be chaos.
Yeah, they're winning the games they're supposed to win, Josh. And that's the thing is, you got to remember, the Dolphin going to Dolphin. I mean, that's what they do. They prove to us that they don't beat good teams. So can't imagine they're going to get. So then you're really looking around the table, and it's like Ravens have the hardest schedule down the stretch. Can they get the 1 seed? Yeah, it's going to be tough. So then it really comes down to, can the Jaguars or the Chiefs pull it out? Because it sounds like they're going to own the tiebreakers.
Yeah, it's true. Mitch Trubisky. It's Trubisky
I'm
time
excited about this one, Josh.
in Pittsburgh. Now, Kenny Pickett goes down early in the game. This game got delayed, felt like 15 different times. I was watching it, and then I was watching the Houston game. And then I was watching it again. And then I was watching the Houston game. And like by the time that the game resumed, I was in my 4:15 nap time.
Right.
I was out. But I was told that there was a lot of issues to the Steelers organization and offense, and all of them were Matt Canada.
Right.
It does not appear to be that way.
Wow.
And so then you could say Kenny Pickett gets hurt, but I mean, Kenny Pickett adjacent quarterback, Mitch Trubisky, was in the game. They didn't have much success.
No. And you got to remember, Mitch
I'm-
Trubisky, I mean, he's led a team to the playoffs. And actually, they should have won that game if there isn't a double doink. Let's be honest. I mean, he put his team in position to win that game. Let's not forget that. The thing that I want to highlight here, Josh, and I just want to give, full transparency, full credit here. I just want to congratulate what Deontay Johnson did in the last game, in yesterday's game. Deontay Johnson a week ago was questioned for his effort for not even trying to go after a fumble. Well, how can you question his effort yesterday? Deontay Johnson scores a touchdown with about 5 minutes remaining to cut the lead to 15. And I'll tell you what, Josh, he had a celebration for the ages. I don't think the celebration is done yet. I still think he's in that end zone. partying it up because he wants to prove to fans everywhere that he's got that confidence. He's got that heart. And it was a comeback story for the ages yesterday for Deontay Johnson.
Right. Right. He's still in it. He's still bought in emotionally. And that's a big deal. Because you remember, you celebrated all times of the game, whether you're up or whether you're down. That's what you're supposed to do.
It's a team sport, Josh. Right.
So
he's probably trying to lift everybody else
100%.
back up.
Yeah, get the energy going. Like, hey, we're in this. We're here. We got this. I think the funniest thing is about the Mike Tomlin never having a losing season stat is like, at some point, we're just celebrating mediocrity. Like, hey, congratulations, you've never been that bad. You know?
Josh, when was the last time the Steelers won a playoff game?
Pat, you're asking the wrong guy, but it's been a minute.
I can't remember. I can't remember the last time.
I can tell you the last time they lost the playoff game.
It was bad against the Chiefs. I remember that.
So I don't know. Google's making it tough.
It was 2016, Josh. They haven't won a playoff game since 2016.
Oh, so you knew it. You're just asking me for what?
I Googled it.
Oh, you're just faster than me. Got it. Well, yeah, so they're going to figure it out, I'm sure, because, Mike Tomlin, greatest of all time, never allowed a losing season.
Never.
And,
and you know what, Josh?
They're going to be
and you know what's great about that is because he will be applauded when they win 9 games this year. He will be applauded.
Oh, yeah.
And people are going to be like, yeah, but he had to deal with Mitch Trubisky. He had to. And people are going to completely ignore the fact that he kept Matt Canada as a hired coach for more than 10 weeks. They're going to completely ignore the fact that the offense didn't look good after they fired Matt Canada. And they're going to completely ignore the fact that Kenny Pickett probably isn't the guy.
Right. I think that's probably going to be what's going to happen, and he's going to be celebrating. So good for them. And they're in the AFC North. So what are they supposed to do? It's just a competitive division. You
don't quit in that division.
Everyone's good there. It's tough. Cardinals somehow. On the flip side of the ball, Cardinals might be back.
They are. Kyler
really back.
Kyler doesn't want to lose his job. Kyler does not want Drake May or Caleb Williams coming to that team.
Oh no, not at all. And so, they're playing almost as good as they did with Josh Dobbs.
Almost. One more win, and I think that script might flip, but we're not there yet.
We're not, no, because there's a lot of season left. A lot of season left to really see. Okay, last thing on the docket. Got to talk about it. They let Baker bake.
They did.
And when you let Baker bake, there ain't no mistake. Baker is good.
Some say he's great.
Some say he's great. That's pretty close to rhyme. Yeah. Finishing the rhyme. Buccaneers, sure, they beat the Panthers. Well, okay. Panthers are bad, but it's a football team. Every team in the NFL is good.
Not to mention
can win.
This was a week that many thought Panthers might win because they got the new coach, that new coach spark. And you know what? You let Baker bake, and he's better than that.
Oh yeah. So Baker, he wins. They're in prime position to still make a run at 5-7 and win the division. Baker might win a playoff game this year, and
don't be shocked.
And when it happens,
don't be shocked.
We've been saying it all along. And by the way, I saw this stat. It was really interesting. It was a chart of throw accuracy versus wide receiver separation, and it charted out like is how accurate your throws are and how much separation your wide receivers have. And Baker was in that percentile of he's making super accurate throws. His wide receivers just don't have any separation. Now, some could say that maybe he's just throwing the ball when he shouldn't be throwing it.
No, he's fitting.
But
in
I'm
that
going to
window.
say no. He's trying to fit it in that window,
Mm-hmm.
and he's making those accurate throws. His receivers aren't getting separation. Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, they're not doing a good enough job.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the way I'm viewing the season right now. If he just had a better, if Baker had better weapons, it would be a different story in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I agree. Josh, I think this is the part of the show where did she end up liking
Josh
it?
and Pat updates. Did she what?
Did she end up liking it?
No.
Okay.
No. Guys, Josh and Pat updates. Posted a new Instagram post. Girl who we thought had a boyfriend does not have a boyfriend. Was on a 3-post like streak for my posts. Didn't like my most recent post.
We got to start a new streak. And that's all it is.
This is the end. It was a good run.
It's good. I mean, you tried.
It's a good run.
And obviously, you tried everything you possibly could.
Everything I could have done. There's nothing else that I could have done.
There's not.
I don't think so. So it just is what it is, Patrick. Josh and Pat updates. I'd like to apologize for my response to Georgia not being in the top 4. That was on me. Inconsiderate.
Yeah.
I tried to do a bit. It wasn't funny.
No, there wasn't anything funny about it.
And I just want to say,
well, it wasn't a bit either.
dogs.
It's like in your heart of hearts, like Georgia is your 1C, and so there.
no. Well, it's Maryland.
Oh, so it's not even 1C.
but-
So
Well, come on, you have a special spot in your heart for Maryland.
yeah, I don't fault that, but you're telling me roll tide, you're telling me hook 'em horns, you're telling me
No, I'm just saying. I am. Bijan made me hook him. That was, and then also I've always been roll tide because it makes everyone else mad, and that's what that when I don't have a team, Patrick. When you don't have a team that you can love, root for the team that makes the most people mad. You know. And so that's what I did. And my cousin, my family, I have family that goes there.
or the
and so it's
team
really-
that's literally won the most the last 15 years.
Same thing.
Whatever, bandwagon.
I'm not. And so now I am all the way bought into Georgia,
No, you're not.
and we are going to win. Yes, I am. I am bought in.
Whatever, Josh.
And the committee, they got it, and the committee got it wrong. Committee got it wrong. It should have been 1, Michigan, 2, Georgia, 3, Alabama, 4, Texas.
And just not put in Washington. Yep. There you go.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. Anyway, guys, that's the show. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Go to picksandpancakes.com to read everything happening in sports. Go to picksandpancakes.shop to buy some sweet merch. We'll see you guys tonight for the TikTok live stream. And that's all I got. Patrick, anything you want to hit?
No, I think that's all. We'll see you tonight.
Awesome. We'll see you guys tonight. Love you. Peace.